Alright, so today we're gonna talk about what obstacles we could face when trying to maintain situational awareness while flying an airplane, or when talking about stuff that we need to do, like work or studying. So it doesn't matter if you are a pilot or not. The reasons that we're going to talk in this video might be the ones causing you trouble to complete what you're trying to do, even though you are really trying hard to actually complete them. If you want to see the previous videos about situational awareness, then click the video right here on your screen right now, or the one linked in the description below. Hi, my name is Jorge Muñoz. I'm a senior instructor pilot working in El Salvador, and as always you will find the timestamps linked in the description below this video and also in a pinned comment down below, so you can go check out something if you're looking for something in particular. So far we have talked a lot about how to create and maintain situational awareness. So now we're going to dive deep into what obstacles we can encounter that will make that difficult for us as pilots to accomplish our goal of situational awareness. Alright, so you probably already know this, but just as a disclaimer, we are going to assume that we're actually trying to do our very best job possible inside the airplane. But either way, we are still struggling with situational awareness. And it doesn't really matter if it is aviation or life in general. It is very common that when we are trying to maintain a certain level of proficiency doing whatever we are trying to do, either it can be flying an airplane, working at an office, studying for your exams, or doing something that demands a certain amount of brain horsepower from you. The problem usually is that there is a lack of concentration, i.e., even though we are trying really hard to stay focused, our mind still constantly drifts from one place to another, from one thought to the next one. So if you're trying to do your job, whatever that implies, but you just can't, it usually can be pinpointed to not being able to get our mind together and stay concentrated. Okay, so now we know the problem. But in order to solve that problem, we need to know what causes it in the first place. For the most part, in these cases, factors like fatigue, stress, work overload, or the combination of all three can be the root of our lack of attention. So if we talk about aviation, working under the effects of something like fatigue will not allow us to perform at our absolute best, to our full capacity. Our mind and body will be feeling tired all the time, even sleepy at some moments. It will reduce our attention so much that we might even stop doing some of the tasks that we have to complete during the flight, like checking our parameters or looking out for traffic, or similar stuff, which, as you can imagine, even though it's something that sounds pretty easy and simple to do, and it certainly is when we are mentally and physically in good shape, not doing these simple tasks might spell disaster for the flight. I think we all know pretty well how fatigue works on us, and I'm sure that if you didn't notice it before, now that you know, you can probably tell if your lack of concentration or situational awareness it's being caused by this. And sorry, but for fatigue, the only solution is rest. You need to let yourself off from the gas pedal just for a bit. Also, stress is pretty similar to fatigue in the sense that it reduces our maximum capacity of thinking things right, of performing to our absolute best. It causes us to be nervous, it forces us to act under an abnormal amount of pressure, and in today's life, sadly, there are just so many things that can cause us to fall victim of stress. Related to our job or not, it will have an effect on it to an extent. Things like problems inside our family, with our partner, our boss pushing us to work more, lack of sleep, some major negative event that took place on our lives just a few days or even weeks ago. Things along those lines are present virtually on everyone's life almost every day. They shouldn't be, but sadly, reality is often not as nice. So go and see what is causing you stress in your life and it's preventing you from giving it all in your everyday life. Search for that thing in your head that never leaves you alone. And to end this segment, we also have the work overload factor, i.e. in this case being burnt out. This often happens when you are just doing too much of whatever you are doing. It doesn't matter if you like it, if you enjoy it. At some point, which is different for everyone, you have enough of doing something, and that's fine. We all have to find a balance in our life. I'm sweating. If you do happen to start feeling burnt out, then try switching things up as much as you can. I mean, of course we have to do our job. I'm not telling you to leave your job if you need it to survive and you have no other option. Most of us are in that situation. But when you're not working, try do something new, like practicing a new sport, going out on a dinner with your pals more often, even if it is not a Friday night. Just go for it. Go to the theater. Start that new hobby that you have been interested in for a while now. Do something to change your routine. Assuming you do enjoy your job, be sure to also include in your life something else that you enjoy. It can be literally whatever you want. And you can also see what you can do to change your work itself, or at least how you perceive your work. Play some instrumental music in the background if you are alone in your office, or if the people that you are with have no problem with that. Go work at a coffee shop or somewhere else if you can. Treat yourself with something every time you complete a task, every time you finished doing some specific task. Work alongside a friend or a co-worker that you like. Good company always makes for a better environment. Even something so simple as changing the usual phrase of I have to work or I have to do this or that or X or Y. Change that for the phrase I get to do this work. It's my decision and I want it. Just changing that simple phrase will change a lot on how you perceive your day to day. Like, for real, I have tried it before when I have been feeling burnt out, or I know that I'm near reaching that point of feeling burned out. I still use it to this day. Like, for me personally, everything feels just better when I do something because I want to do it, not because I have to do it. In the end, feeling burnt out, it's usually temporary. With a little bit of time, you should be feeling good and back to normal on what you're doing. And if you're a pilot and you are sitting here thinking that when it comes down to flying an airplane, having a work overload doesn't mean any of this, then it is because we have already had a complete video discussing everything about it. I'll leave you that link of that video right here on your screen right now, or also linked in the description below, if you want to learn about work overload when it comes down specifically for us pilots inside aviation. I just thought that this concept from the general point of view, not just from a pilot's point of view, might also help you and someone else that is struggling with this. But in a nutshell, work overload also means that you have a great number of chores to do within a very short period of time, which can also cause on us to feel burned out after the flight. So after all, there it is, the burned out part in some way. So there you go. Now, if you want to become an outstanding private pilot, if you're curious and you want to prepare yourself in the best possible way for all the tests to come, or even if you are an advanced private pilot that wants to remember and perfect the basis and the knowledge from the VFR world, or you want to start your private pilot training with a heads up over the others, then I highly recommend you should check out my book Essential Knowledge for Private Pilot. You will find the link of this book in the description below this video and also in a pinned comment down below. It is an Amazon Kindle exclusive. This book uses the two most effective study techniques in the whole world, which are active recall and spaced repetition, and it applies them into aviation. So if that sounds good to you, then please go check out the book down below. It is available in English as well in Spanish. These two study methods should also help you to fight back the fatigue, stress, work overload, and all those factors that limits our concentration. Remember, you shouldn't be studying hard, you should be studying effectively, and with this book you can do just that. And that's it. So, continuing with the video, in conclusion, All these three factors, fatigue, stress, and work overload, cause a distraction for us. It grabs part of our attention and therefore we see a decrease on our performance, on our situational awareness. And remember, all the possible solutions that I have talked about in this video to solve these three problems are just an advice of mine. It's what has worked for me or for people that I know. And I think it can work for more people. You can probably search for more advice about how to deal with these problems in the internet, by your own, by talking to a professional, or however you want. And just to add up a bit, the other possible obstacle to maintaining situational awareness after a while of doing your job, when you start feeling very comfortable while working, perhaps too comfortable, it's complacency. That means that we are too relaxed about what we're doing, to the point that we might start letting mistakes through, because everything we do has now just become part of the routine. This is the other extreme of the spectrum of fatigue, stress, and work overload. We are still having a decreased performance on our job, but this time it is not because we are too tense at the moment of doing our job. Like before, this time we are just too relaxed. So the thing that you have to aim for, it's that sweet middle spot. Not like stressed about your work, but also not extremely relaxed. We all have to find a good in-between. Treat your work or whatever you're trying to do pretty much with the same attention to detail you had when you first started. That's the middle sweet spot. That's the only solution to complacency. And I'm not talking about doing things slow, but good. It's not that easy to find that sweet spot, but I'm sure that you can do it. If you found this video interesting, then you should go check out this video over here. It's about those study techniques that will help you fight back the stress, fatigue, and the work overload. Or maybe you should check out this playlist over here, which is the complete playlist about situational awareness. So, thank you very much for watching, subscribe if you haven't already, like, comment, and all that stuff, and I hope to see you in another video. Bye bye.